Hello everybody and welcome to a quick and hopefully helpful guide video for Dead by Daylight. I've been doing some thinking recently about some blood point farming for Survivor and for Killer and how it kind of differs. And as I've been talking to the Discord a bit, we kind of came up with what we believe would be the top 3 killers for blood point earning potential. Now this kind of ignores the effects of different kinds of perks, because of course perks have a large effect in this, and this assumes that you're equally good at each of the killers, and it also doesn't include particularly strange or useful add-ons that might increase the amount of game point potential that you might see in a game. But I did want to share this with you guys because we do get a lot of people that just kind of wonder who's got the most point potential for killers. And of course, ultimately, skill plays the biggest role in it, but there are differences in terms of how the killers are played that kind of lead or lean towards one side or another in terms of point potential. And so, you're free to, of course, disagree. And if you disagree with these, let me know down there in the comment section why it is you disagree, and maybe we can revisit this at another time. And of course, as new killers get updated and they get kind of tweaked, this might change. But some of these that might seem obvious to you, and some of these might be a little bit new to you. So let's go ahead and talk about third place. Third place was really actually hard because there was a couple that we thought were really pretty close due to their skill set and their play style for getting third place. We ended up settling on the nurse, and there's a reason for this. Primarily because the nurse, when they blink, they get points depending on how good of a blink that they do. So for third place, we're thinking nurse because the precise blink, which just means you blink close to a survivor, gives you 150 points, and a lethal blink gives you 250 points if you land a post-blink attack on the survivor. And that's in addition to the points you get for the hit itself, which is 300 points. So typically, every hit as a nurse is gonna be after blink, generally speaking. So you're talking about a lot of lethal blinks in any one game, especially if you play in a way that's not very tunnely or campy. If you give them time to heal and you chase down somebody else in the meantime, stuff like that, you can actually get a lot of points with the nurse using the lethal blink, because every hit's going to be about 550 points, as opposed to, say, with any other killer, it would be 300 points for the attack itself. So we thought that the nurse has really high point potential, both with her ability to quickly move across the map and get people down. She's very good at sticking on survivors if you're good with the nurse and downing them. And then the points from her blink just kind of gives her that little bit of an edge for overall point potential. She's also fairly easy to 4-kill with as well, which will give you the no one escaped bonus. If you're a good nurse, that is, you might have a lot of advantages over the survivor and be able to get some really good kill sets going on. But now there was a couple that were really close, and I wanted to tell you about these guys as well. In case you're not very good with the nurse, or if you don't like the nurse's playthrough, there's 2 others in particular that we thought came really, really close to third place. And those were the Huntress, and that's because the Huntress, when she gets a good hatchet hit, when the Huntress gets a hatchet hit, it's worth 500 points, which is not quite as much as a lethal blink hit, but very close, because you have the 500 points from the hit of the hatchet, which is 200 more than just a regular one button hit. And you can, if you're good with the Huntress, you can get a lot of hits in with those hatchets in a game. That's why using things like Iridescent may not be useful for you if you're looking for points, because you get one less hit. And that's another thing I'd like to point out real quickly here, is that your playstyle will also affect these points quite a bit. If you're a killer that likes to hang around the hook and hit the same person that's already been injured right after they get off the hook, you're going to get less points. You do get more points if you let them heal up and you hit them and you chase somebody else down while they're being saved. Hanging around the hook can actually really hurt your point potential. It may secure you kills and double pips, but if you're in there for points, tunneling and camping really aren't worth very many points. It's much better to go and kill somebody else while the other survivors are busy trying to heal up the person that they just saved off the hook. So anyway, with that being said, we thought that Nurse was a very close run, or that Huntress was a very close runner-up to the Nurse for the third spot. Now there's another one too, though, that we thought was pretty good, but not quite as good as a good nurse. Again, assuming that you're equally as good with all these killers is what we had to do in order to be fair. And we thought that the another one that was kind of close, kind of tied for that third position, but not quite, was the Hag. Now, you don't see a lot of the Hag because the Hag is a challenging killer to get good at. Maybe not as hard to be precise as with the Nurse, but her playstyle is very different than almost any other killer out there, and you do have to be kind of wary and careful about it. But her Phantasm attack, so when a trap is triggered, you get 200 points just for the survivor triggering the trap. That's a lot of points. If you then teleport to that and get a hit with it, you get 550 points, which is more than the Lethal Blink, or is equal to the Lethal Blink plus the hit that you would get as the Nurse. So it's actually quite powerful to get if your trap gets set off by a survivor, that's 200 points. If you teleport and you hit them, that's 750 points for hitting a survivor one time. That's a lot of points very quickly, and it really does add up. So because her playstyle is different and she's kind of inconsistent, she's very much based on your ability to control the map. That's why she's not quite in that third space, since the Nurse just has so much more purposeful mobility. She's able to move where she wants to go and get people down a lot quicker than a Hag can. A Hag often spends time chasing and trapping and all that other stuff, and that's why she kind of didn't quite get into the third position. But we're done with third position now. It's settled as far as we can tell, looking at the numbers and looking at our own experiences, asking people around and doing some research. It does seem to us on the Discord and then myself that in third place is the Nurse. That's done. Second place should be kind of obvious, truthfully, and that is the Billy. Hillbilly is definitely the second place here. You knew he was going to be top 3 for sure, because the Hillbilly has something that the other killers don't have a lot of, and that is just absolute map control. On a bad map, Hillbillies suffer, but on a good map for the Hillbilly, man, there's no stopping them. And the reason why they're so powerful, from what we can tell, is that they're able to down people very quickly. And when you down somebody with a chainsaw hit, it's worth 850 points. Well, hitting them twice with the mouse 1 would only be 300 points. You get more points for the chainsaw hit than you would if you M1 them 2 times. Now, that's not very different. If you lethal blinked a survivor 2 times, it'd be worth more points than a chainsaw hit. But where the Hillbilly makes up for all of this, they may get less overall hits, but the chainsaw hit's worth a lot. They get points for the chainsaw sprints, and perhaps most importantly, they have the map control. It's if you're a good Billy, and especially if you have a perk on you like barbecue and chili, you can hook somebody and get another down in a matter of seconds. And that back-to-back kind of attacks is what keeps the survivors from getting ahead of you and getting rid of your map potential. That's why Hillbilly is one of the most popular killers, is because it combines fantastic kill potential with some really strong point potential, and is honestly a relatively easy killer to become good with, and very, very, I guess profitable, one might say, in terms of blood points. They're also easy to win with. So definitely Hillbilly was up there in the top 3. We knew that for sure. After very little debate, we decided that they were top 2, and we think that it's number 2 for them. And so that leaves kind of like, all right, what's the best killer for point potential? And you shouldn't really be surprised by this if you've played this game for a bit. That's the Doctor. The Doctor is number 1 for point potential. I've seen Doctors. It was close. I do think that they have it pretty much in the bag. I've seen Doctors. I myself like to play Doctor when I'm farming points. I'll get 1 kill in a game, and I'll spend the rest of the game kind of, basically shocking and hitting people down, getting them up to 2 hooks, and just kind of taking it chilling and easy and just shocking people. And certainly I think that that's the best way of farming points is with the Doctor, because each shock gives you 300 points, but it drops to 150 when deviousness is almost full, but that doesn't even matter. It's just so many points. You can shock one person 3 times to get him from tier 1 to tier 3, maybe even 4 times. That's like 1,200 points right there for one person to get into tier 3. And they can break themselves out of it, and then you can get them back into it. You also have the fact that literally just tiering them up also gives you points. So when they do become a higher tiered, even if you're not actually shocking them, you still get points for that as well. So it's a very valuable and very easy to farm killer, because it doesn't even require you to be good you just point yourself in the general direction of the guy, and you shock him, and you shock him, and then at some point you hit him. And I'll consistently get 30 to 35,000 points in a game that lasts a decent amount of time by using the doctor and getting only 1 kill. And if I was really trying to get 4 kills, I'd be getting closer to 40,000. And so I do think that the easiest to play killer with the most point potential has to be the doctor here, guys. Hillbilly was close, but not quite there. The ability to just spam those shocks is what makes the doctor so powerful. In addition, he also has a couple of things going for him. The doctor is also pretty good at sticking on targets. He can get knockdowns, not the quickest, but fairly easily. And if you're good with the doctor, using the shock ability to keep people from vaulting or from pallet looping can also be a very, very easy and valuable way to get hook points up as well. So not only are you getting points for shocking them until they're up to tier 3 at least, you're also getting points when you do knock them down and when it is that you put them on the hook. And there's also value to say, like, reasons why, like, say the Trapper and other kind of Trapper and Freddy didn't get on the list, because Trapper and Freddy, they specialize more in hunting down and singling out and killing people. And so, like, the Trapper, for an example, because we thought about it, Trapper has some good base abilities. Setting traps, it gives you points. When they get trapped, it gives you points. And when you pick them up, you get points for them. But the problem is you miss out on hits because of that, and they're not as mobile and as quickly downing as some of the other killers are. So that's why Nurse got it. Nurse got it because it mixes great point potential for number 3, great point potential with her abilities to get the lethal blink as well as just the precise blink. And then in addition, her ability to move and quickly down people all the way across the map means that it's fairly easy if you're paying attention to hook everybody 2 times and then go kill everybody. Like, it's easy to do it with her because she's got that map presence. Hillbilly has the same thing going on for him. Hillbilly has a very strong one-hit attack with the chainsaw hit. Chainsaw sprints gives you points. And then in addition, he's able to transition between one target and another target so quickly that it always keeps the survivors in the back foot. It takes them a long time to get the generators going. And you often, before you even know it, have hooked them twice each, and they're starting to die on the hook. And you don't, tunneling them down gives you less points because if they don't get picked off the hook and healed, then you can't hit them more times, and you can get the points for hitting them, or for the chainsaw hits, or for any of that stuff, or for even chasing them. You do want to chase, you do want to hit them, and you do want to hook them, of course, and you want to kill them. So all these things are great, but it's important to remember with any killer, the end-all point of this is that even though it goes, in our opinion, Nurse, Hillbilly, Doctor, any killer you play that you kind of focus in on one person, you don't chase them for very long, you kind of just tunnel them down, you're gonna get less points for that. The best way to get points as a killer seems to be one of those 3 that I said, with Huntress and Hag being close to those 3. And again, it does depend a little bit on your playstyle as well. But those 3 and leaving the hook after they've been hooked, going to another survivor and killing them as quickly as possible. And that's what makes these 3 so powerful. It's easy to get to another survivor very quickly with the Nurse and to kill him. It's easy to get to another survivor very quickly with the Hillbilly and knock him down. And it's fairly easy to stick on to your target as a Doctor and knock him down. Ultimately, though, Doctor wins because the shock, so many points. So many points. He also has really great gen control as well. So that allows you to kind of focus on keeping a couple gens safe until the game gets long enough that you start to kill people off after hooking them 2 times. That's it for you guys. I hope this was helpful to you. I personally like to farm with the Doctor, although I do also think the Hag is a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos of Dead by Daylight. We're trying to get more of them on the channel for you, and I'll see you guys around hopefully in the near future. If you have any comments, if you disagree, if you think I'm wrong, stupid, you can let me know in the comments section down below. That's what it's there for, and I'll at least look at your comment. I may ignore you, but I'll look at it. Alright guys, peace out.